Hello and welcome to your holiday weekend weather report. And plenty of clouds around today. A few breaks of sun after all that rain and wind we had last night. Before we get started, we'll show you what the sky looked like today toward later in the afternoon. So actually, you can see this was kind of almost like an anvil here that we saw. This was around 4 o'clock. An anvils type cloud formation. Really interesting to see that kind of cloud formation in November. But that's the kind of rain we had. It was very convective. And then by the evening, the clouds broke up a little bit. We saw a little bit of the moon. And so anyway, let's go over the storm reports here of the wind reports from the wind and rain reports from this past storm that we dealt with, and go over some of these wind gusts. I'll just show you the more remarkable ones here. Great Neck had a wind gust up to 50 miles an hour. Breezy Point had a wind gust of 49 miles an hour. Suffolk County, again, really impressive. Napeag, I should say. That's the right way to pronounce it. 65 mile an hour wind gust. Great Gull Island had a 62 mile an hour wind gust. Fisher's Island Airport had a 55 mile an hour wind gust. Blue Point had a 54 mile an hour wind gust. We thought it was going to be 40 to 50, but some of these gusts went over 50 miles an hour because of that very strong LLJ that was in place. Even Fire Island had wind gusts of 47. These are some of the maritime stations. Look at Stonington in Connecticut, 64 mile an hour wind gust. Groton, 57 mile an hour wind gust. Shinnecock had a 58 mile an hour wind gust. So you can imagine we had all these power outages as a result. Looking at the rainfall reports, some areas got a lot of rain, more than was expected, particularly Connecticut. Stratford got 3.18 inches. Bridgeport Airport got 2.59 inches. So this is over the 2 inches we were predicting. New Canaan, 2.15. So again, and there was actually a little bit of flooding as a result of this as well, of all this rain. Almost a month's worth of rain in some of these areas. Milford in New Haven County, 3.29 inches. New Haven itself, 2.86. So Connecticut getting really hit very hard by all this rain here that we had. 2.10 in New London. In Bergen County, northeast New Jersey, Wyckoff, 2.98. Hasbrook Heights, 2.35. So a lot of areas over 2 inches. Essex County, Maplewood, 2.67 inches. Harrison had 2.62 inches. Passaic, 2.46. Union County, we also had amounts over 2 inches, 2.55 there as well. And again, the models just can't handle, the warmer ocean temperatures that we're dealing with due to climate change. So they're just not used to it. The city, not as remarkable. We had readings generally between 1.5 to 2 inches there. Nassau County, also the highest amount we had was North Massapequa, 2 inches. Most of the county got around 1.5 inches. Belmore, 1.56. Carl Place, 1.52. And then going into Manhattan, well, actually, I spoke too soon. It looks like Manhattan actually wound up getting hit very hard, too, by some heavy rain. Midtown Manhattan reporting 2.77 inches. Central Park, 2.49. I know there was some rainfall records broken today as a result of all this rain. In Queens, LaGuardia got 2.39 inches. Staten Island got 2.38 inches. Pomona and Rockland County got 1.98. I see Staten Island also. And then Suffolk County, again, not as much in Suffolk County. Smithtown got 2.24 inches. Islip got 1.72 inches. Going into Westchester County, Portchester got 2.14 inches. So it was a pretty heavy rainfall across the area between that and the strong winds. And still a lot of leaves hanging on the trees, though most of them should be off by now. There was a lot of damage, actually. So here's a note with the climate note with the rain. They're saying LaGuardia and Islip and Bridgeport all set daily rainfall records. So pretty impressive stuff. We're going to go to the maps now and look at our weather map. You can see winter weather out west. That's not going to be a problem for us. We'll have dry weather going into this weekend, so you can see temperatures now. So we'll look at some of the conditions at Islip, for instance, 48, dew point 43, slowly drying out, but there's still a lot of low-level moisture. And you can see here clouds pretty much most of the day. In the morning, it was pretty warm, and it's a little bit humid, too. The dew point's actually 58. Temperature of 58 with a dew point of 58. Pretty saturated air right there that you had. You can see some of these very, very windy conditions that we had. 56, 41 mile an hour wind gust, 45-mile-an-hour wind gust at 5:36 in the morning. So some very heavy rain and wind with this. So this is what was causing the power outages across the area. And you can see it lasted for a while. It was going. We had wind gusts. Like I said, the worst part is the wind gusts around 38. So that's why we saw all those power outages last night. We're having a lot of wind, and it was affecting the whole area as well as a result of that. So some pretty strong winds, because again, you have warmer than normal oceans. It supercharges these storms, makes them stronger than the models would think they are, and that's all again due to climate change. So let's go look at our highs for the day first of all. So we'll go look at our highs, and pretty warm. 61. You can reach 61 at West Hampton. Upper 50s, Jersey, around 60 degrees, and that was in that warm sector this morning. The lows are probably the current temperatures we have right now. So we're in the mid 40s generally speaking, to around 50 in Jersey. But let's look at the precipitation, and we'll look at the 36-hour precipitation here, and this should show us most of the rainfall that has fallen. And you will see here that, Long Island, you can see the yellows here, central parts of Long Island, over 1.5 inches. Going out east, it's a little less, but still 1.5 inches. And the rain was very much needed, obviously. In Connecticut, this is where they got really. There's Milford with a 3.29. Connecticut getting hit harder with the rain. And then also that also went into the Hudson Valley. So this is where the heavier rain band set up into northeastern New Jersey and parts of New York City. Again, 2+ inch amounts of rain going farther south into the Jersey Shore. Still see a flood advisory issued for Ocean County there. Coastal flood advisory issued. Other than that, rainfall amounts there around 1.5 inches. So the hardest hit area seems to be ranging from Manhattan, northeast New Jersey, through Connecticut. That seems to be the hardest area as far as the rainfall goes. Looking at the weather map right now, you can see those storms are moving away. We have weak high pressure coming in, though it's kind of weak, and that's where I don't know how clear it's going to be. We're going to look at the models and figure all that out. Obviously, looking at the satellite, you see plenty of clouds over us. So let's go to the models, show you what's going to be happening this weekend. So we have the high pressure area that's building. We're not near the center of it. We're near the periphery. So clouds will probably be an issue from time to time. Maybe as we get towards Saturday and that high crests over us, we'll see more likely to have some sunshine. Sunday, we're still staying fair. And then our next chance of rain wouldn't be until Monday. So it will be a dry weekend, dry holiday weekend, which is very good for, no, we won't have to deal with any more rain, at least. Before I get there, let's go to the climate reports for today. We'll do that, and then we'll talk about the weather this weekend. So Islip, 58. That's 7 degrees above normal. The low 46 was 10 degrees above normal. So that puts us 8 degrees above normal for the day as far as temperatures go. And again, that rainfall is 1.25. That's a record. So now we're up to 1.77. However, we're still below normal. We're supposed to see 2.40 inches of rain so far at Islip. It all depends on where you are. Central Park was 5 degrees above normal for the day. And they got Central Park's actually close to normal with rainfall. So month to date, 2.59, 2.55. So it all depends on where you were, how much rain you got. But we're not as, bone dry as we were before, at least. But I don't know if that's going to help the lakes out there in the Pine Barrens that you saw in my other video. So anyway, let's go to the HRRR now. Go to the HRRR. So won't have to deal with any more rain. That's it. We're dry. But you notice the isobar is being tight tomorrow, so it will be breezy conditions. Let's look at the dew points and wind flow. So for your Thanksgiving, we have the northwest winds. You see, the air isn't all that dry. There's a little low-level moisture, and we're going to talk about that. Let's go pull up go 17Z here. Pull up the sounding. And you can see they're very close together right at the surface. So there could be some clouds. You can see 46 and 41. There could be some clouds close to the surface. So some low-level stratocumulus clouds could wind up popping up tomorrow. It's a very, very low-level moisture, but there'll still be some low-level stratocumulus. I know the Weather Service is just saying sunny, but you can see they're almost touching there in the morning. So they may have to deal with some of that tomorrow. All right. And then as we go into, we'll talk more about Friday. As we go more into Friday, you'll see here's another shot of some colder air that comes in for Friday. and that's going to lower our temperatures, and maybe this will push some of the clouds away because this is much drier air. But the air that we're in right now is not really all that dry, and so that's why we're going to have issues, I think, with cloudiness. As far as temperatures go tonight, we'll probably drop back to around 40 by morning, and then tomorrow it will be a much cooler day with temperatures only in the upper 40s to around 50. And again, we'll have to watch for that cloud cover. And then as we get into Friday, Thursday night, temperatures drop into the 30s. And then Friday is going to be a lot colder. I'm talking about temperatures only in the low to mid 40s, perhaps. So it'll be a lot colder on Friday for your Black Friday, for sure. Let's go to the GFS. Get a little further along here. Now, what's interesting here is the models don't necessarily agree on how cold Friday is going to be. The HRRR seems to bring in the colder air, but the GFS lags a little bit. And the GFS has it warmer tomorrow, too. So now we have a little bit of a disagreement in the models as to how warm it's going to be. That's interesting. I lean more toward the GFS at this point. But we'll see what we got out there as we get into the weekend, I guess. But generally speaking, it will be cooler tomorrow, but how cool? It could be 40s or maybe we'll see 50. Friday, I think, on Long Island, I don't think it's going to hit 50 at all. And then that cooler air does work in. So if we look at the dew points here, I think it's just a little bit slower with that colder air working. Look what happened Saturday. We're really in some really dry air here. That's going to be a colder day for us. And then by Sunday, you can see south winds come back, and that's going to cause some moderation in temperatures. Let's go look at our air temperatures here. So it's Friday, Saturday, and that's Saturday is going to be a cold day. We may have trouble getting up to around 40 on Saturday, perhaps. And then for Sunday, we moderate back up into the mid-40s. So that's what it looks like right now. Just going into next week briefly, you'll see as we get into next week, there will be much, much cold weather, the weather to end the month, and we'll talk more about that on Sunday night. So let's now, we've gone over the temperatures and everything else, let's talk about the clouds, all right? And first of all, we'll show the soundings on the GFS. So Friday, this is Friday. You see, look at that. We're going to have high and mid-level clouds on Friday. And then if we look at tomorrow for your Thanksgiving, you'll see that same. Actually, these are a lot closer on this model. So there could be some higher clouds around. I just don't think it's going to be that clear of a day. Now, for Saturday, you'd hope that with that colder air building in from the north, that it would have a clear day, but it's showing a mid-deck because we have a front off to the south that's kind of stalled out. So we may not necessarily clear it out on Saturday. It could be, again, some of that clouds. Let's look at Saturday morning here, for instance. And you'll see, again, there's that moisture in the mid-deck because the issue is, we have the cold air at the surface, but if we go and we go aloft, let's show 250 wind. Wind direction, actually. I got something on my throat. You'll see that the wind is a little. This is the surface wind. So the surface wind is from the north, but aloft, the wind is more from the southwest. I have to use a different model to explain this to you. So that's what we have to watch. Let's go to the cloud model. You'll see what's going on here. So let's roll this back to tomorrow, and you'll see you'll have that stratocumulus kind of clears out, and then here we are with another batch of cirrus. These storms are basically moving to the south of us, so we're basically getting a cloud shield from them. And then for Friday, for Saturday, you'll see that cirrus kind of just sits over us. So we may not have any clear days. We may have to wait until next week to get any clear, as far as nice clear skies goes. I don't know if we're going to see it. This is the GFS. We'll go to the RGEM next. So this is the RGEM for tomorrow. Of course, the RGEM showing less clouds. I think they're going to be more clouds than that. And then you'll see what happens Friday. You're going to be dealing with that cirrus. And then for Saturday, maybe Saturday, the RGEM is a little drier and keeps the cirrus a little more at bay, but it's something that'll have to be watched. But I don't know. I don't think, as far as the day with the most sunshine, it's probably going to be Saturday. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow because we have all that moisture that we're going to have. So that's something that, again, we have that moisture around, and that's going to cause issues for us. So let's now go on that. We looked at all of these. Let's go to the Vent2Sky site. And we will go ahead and kind of explain this to you as far as what's going to happen Saturday. So I'm going to move this all the way to Saturday, which uses the icon here right now. But what I want to do, you can see this is Saturday, 2 o'clock. You see it's showing the north wind. All right. Go to clouds. See, it's got the clouds over us. So this is the issue. We have the surface wind. You can see how cold it is, too. It's only in the 30s. So we have this low-level cold air. But if we go aloft, I think the temperature will change. Well, that's why I kind of, all right. Well, we'll use this to kind of visualize this. So let's see. We got a temperature 2 meters above ground. So let's go a little bit aloft here. Yeah, it's not a huge drop in temperature here. That's the issue. Not a huge drop. So I'm kind of visualizing the winds here. So this is only 700 HPA. So you have the high clouds. That's 300. You'll see, all right, we have a westerly flow here. All right. But if we look at humidity here, we put this humidity up to here. Oh, this isn't, yeah, I got to change it. So this is low humidity at the ground, but as we go aloft, this is only going to take us up to 700, which isn't going to be high enough. But bottom line is there's moisture aloft that we got to use the windy site. I keep forgetting it. It's the windy site that we can show the moisture on. Well, that's the issue with Saturday. So what is Saturday, 1 o'clock? You see we have that cold air at the surface. If we hit clouds, you'll see this has some high clouds over there. Because if we hit humidity, and we look at humidity aloft, not near the surface, but aloft, you'll see we have a lot of moisture aloft here. And this is again, due to that. It's annoying because if you go over to New England, you'll probably have a nice clear sky, but we're probably going to be dealing with this damn cirrus in the way of our nice clear sky. So that's the problem that we may have. Hopefully between now and then, we can maybe keep this moisture a little further south. See, this is just the way, it's because of the way the jet stream is. It's just this high, it's a very shallow air mass. It's not a deep air mass to keep it, clear the whole column down. But, if you want the clearer skies, you'll have to go upstate, probably. Or to New England. So anyway, that is going to wrap up this weather report. The reason why I'm going in so much detail is I'm not going to be doing any weather videos much this weekend, so I'm not going to be doing any tomorrow. And as far as Friday goes, probably just a very brief one, maybe. And that'll be it. And then the next one would be Sunday. So as you know, I do less of this now. So anyway, have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving.